Hello, everyone. Angelo here, Hollywood filmmaker, in my apartment that I have now lived in for just under 6 months. I didn't feel like waiting till the end of the month, but it's been 6 months I've been housed since I was homeless. I was homeless for 2.5 years, living in my car, which was good, and had things that I don't know affected me. I'll say that. But I can't view it as something that weighs me down or anything. It just I wanted to make a video talking about how do I look back on this last 6 months, because in a way it's totally surreal. In a way I wish I was still homeless. Like, there are a lot of things. It's like, oh man, when you got to deal with people, everything becomes 10 times more complicated. It was nice being homeless, not having to do that. But of course, it's a good challenge to have to do all this, and being homeless made it possible. Like, if I just tried to come to LA from Virginia and just live in a place and work, I couldn't have done it. I would have fallen apart. I could not have handled the stress. It would have been horrible. Because being homeless, it was like, if I wanted anything, it wasn't getting any closer. The shower was not getting any closer. Food was not, I could not just walk over to the fridge. Grant, I did have some food in my car, but if I wanted to shave, it was going to be tedious. Well, for a while I was going to the gym, and then when the pandemic hit, I was showering on the street for 7 months and shaving in my car. And I would shower on the street with water bottles. I have videos of it on my channel, and I enjoyed it, actually. There came with it, it's not like it was all just bad. Like, I got so much out of it, out of just like, something's making me miserable, whatever, I need to go do something about it, because it's not going to stop just because I feel like, oh, this is so unfortunate that I'm stuck here like this. So it pushed me to work really hard, to get up earlier than ever. I get up 3:45 in the morning pretty much every day now, because I know now, no matter how tired I am, I will regret it if I sleep in. I just hate that feeling of missing part of the day. Granted, I still waste too much time on the internet and stuff, but it's getting better to where, like, even with my writing assignment for my screenwriting class now, that's so difficult. We're like writing for specific purposes. It's not just writing a story. It's like writing with the idea of you're going to use this one type of like tool to intrigue readers, and it's like, oh man, I got to figure out all the context I need for it, and you can pick what story you want for it, but you're trying to figure out how to grab readers' attention with one thing. Anyways, and I was so down on myself about it for a little while, and I still kind of am, but I'm like, well, I have to make a choice. Am I going to be miserable about it and like just hate myself and think, well, I'm too stupid to do this. This sucks, and like I'm horrible at this, or am I just going to think, well, I just got to work harder than I was going to before, than I was planning on it, and I'm just working harder at it, and sure enough, stuff's coming from it. I've had a specific problem lately I didn't have when homeless. This is annoying. It's so hard to be at a desk for me. My posture, it hurts my triceps and arms to, like, well, I can't show up. I have my arms like this, and I've had to go on very light exercises, which I hate. I like working out, for the last like 2 weeks now, while I'm trying to recover my arms. And I did those hanging exercises. I'm looking at the bar above, like, the closet here where I would hang from, like a pull-up bar, like this, to loosen up like the shoulders so it doesn't have an impingement. And I think I was hanging so much it like strained my shoulders in other ways. So now it's like, man, can't have my arms down like this resting, can't have them up. What is going on? But it makes it hard, because if I try and do my normal workout, it's gonna act like make all those problems act up. So sitting at a desk working at a computer is harder on my body in a lot of ways than living in a car. But that was hard on me too. The heat was bad. Um, the stress alone was bad. The danger of people, potentially attacking me. I mean, a couple times that almost happened. It did happen once. Somebody threw a brick at me. A guy who just seemed out of his mind, and was at the park, and he chased me through the park another day too. But like completely out of his mind, talking gibberish, doing somersaults in the park, like absolutely out of it. And he just threw a brick at me, hit me in the arm or the wrist. But people coming up to my car, like kind of threatening me or high and acting weird. And then there was the time that somebody, while I was sleeping in my car, crashed into my car and destroyed it. And I went to the hospital and I was bruised up. Thank goodness it was not worse than that. But I was hurting for about a month, and like hurting longer than that in my leg. But it was about a month where I had a hard time lifting stuff, and I could not work out. Like if I try, oh man, it got so much worse the next day. So I had to just wait a month to recover. And it's hard to get good posture on this futon here, and then this thing right here. So my arm, like I have these pillows. I try and like have my arms on, but I think that just hurts worse when I put my arms on the pillows. Like my arms are hunched forward, so it always strains my triceps. Like here, it's awful. I don't know, like how do I ever put my arms where it doesn't hurt? Like even like this, it hurts in a way. I can't figure it out. I got an ice pack. I was putting it on my arm. Maybe that helped. But I was thinking there's things that's like, I mean, like I said, I couldn't function if I didn't go homeless. And I went homeless for particular reasons. I sort of needed to. Well, I did need to financially, but also I thought I can't be a filmmaker unless I take some step that's going to get me closer to it, where I'm not tied down to rent. Eventually, a job. I did work my job a few months after I went homeless. But I was just too comfortable, too stuck in my routine, and it wasn't getting me anywhere. And it was getting to the point where it's like I wanted to crawl out of my skin because I felt like I was living a lie. Like, I want to be a filmmaker. I'm going after this and screenwriting, but I'm not able to do it. I'm stuck in Virginia. Like, all the opportunities are shutting themselves in front of my eyes. And it became clear I needed to go to LA. And it was the right decision, even though my car keeps getting destroyed here. And I had another car destroyed last week or so, and it was a total loss. So I'm going to have to get another car. I'm looking for another Toyota Camry, Corolla, Matrix. I would get a Scion, but I don't think there's any in my price range. I want to stay under $3,000. Used one from a private seller, not a dealer. Not worth it. And all that kind of stress, like before, it was so hard on me. It still is, but it just, now I'm like, I know how to push past it. One thing that makes it harder, I can't work out as much. Before my shoulder impingement, like in the last 2 weeks, if I was stressed, like one thing that would help other than writing a lot is working out. And now I can't as much because it's going to re-aggravate all these injuries now in my arms and stuff. And I don't know what to do to make it better. I do this, I do this. It all helps kind of, but I swear the tricep, it's maddening how it's like having my arms like this at a desk. I don't know how to get comfortable. But anyways, I was thinking, it's like, I don't even want to say the words to frame it in any way like being homeless somehow it was a loss for me or a hole, but so I just can't, like, to say that it would be a lie. It was what it was, and I got a lot out of it, and I almost feel bad for people who didn't go through it in a way. Like, not that I think you should have to go homeless, but in a way that, like, I got to go through that. It was an opportunity. I got to see what it's like. I did enjoy a lot of it. I did get to experience a lot of great things. Even being grateful for the sad things about it. That was something too, just to know what it was like. And to not even wish for those sad things to be gone, just be grateful for them. Like, yeah, I'm glad they're there. Like, glad they're part of that's how I want to view the world. And I'm glad to, partly also just because I'm an atheist, and it's a little reductive, not just because of that, but because I was just taught, indoctrinated in this garbage view of the world, the stupid barbaric doctrines of Christianity, that no, that despair is a sin. You're not supposed to feel. It's wrong to feel human emotions. You shouldn't feel human emotions. You should shun material, not even material, just you should shun all earthly desires. Those are wrong. Those are impure. You should feel good. If you're feeling good, you're like, and the absurd thing they never question about or explain is, so that means you're doing all the work to feel good. God's doing nothing. Or is God somehow literally changing the cells in your brain, like changing the firing of your neurons and symptons and whatever, photons in your brain, tauntauns, to get them to feel a certain way? Because think about it, that would mean God is literally changing your brain state at any given moment. And why is there no way to detect that? And doesn't that mean you're not really in control of yourself, and you're just like a puppet or a toy, an automaton? Anyways, so that always, it was a big struggle. I don't even like to say struggle. It weighed heavily on me for a long time. I had a lot of problems because of it. I was disabled because of it, mentally disabled. I had a dissociative disorder. I still have it in a way, but it's much better. Depersonalization, derealization disorder. And again, I was just thinking about it because it's like, man, I don't think I could have coped with having a place. If I had a nice place like this, I have a really nice apartment. It's everywhere on the street. It sucks when people keep breaking into my car or destroying it. But I think maybe if I had this before, I would have not understood that I'm supposed to be working all the time and like generating activity. And I would have thought, well, here I am. I guess I'm just supposed to enjoy it, right? That's the point of people getting nice places like this. Whereas for me now, the apartment is just an opportunity to work even harder. Because when I was homeless, the last 2 weeks I was homeless, I was working at my job at a film company that I'm working at now. And it was actually, like, I realized I don't want a home because I want to be comfortable. I want a home because it's getting overwhelming to try and do everything I need to while living in my car. To be able to do more work, it'll actually be helpful to have a home. And having my routine and working out and getting up early, it made it possible for me to cope with this. Because I have had really sad moments where I miss being homeless. It amazes me, by the way, when I first moved here, how I didn't think to look for parking like I did now. I feel looking back like I was an utter child 5 months ago. I was so naive. Oh, I thought I had to park nearby and stuff, and I couldn't. But well, you look 4 or 5 blocks down the road, something that would have been unthinkable to me before. Now it's like, oh, it's just no big deal. Yeah, you go home, you park 5 blocks away, and you walk another 10 minutes back to your apartment. Anyways, so it's just been a lot, but I always have not mixed feelings. Like, to me, I'm glad even for the sad stuff. It's like, it's important. I wouldn't want to do without it. It's not as meaningful without it. I wouldn't want it any other way. I'm not the kind of person that could just want to be, positive, or not positive. I mean, I try. I guess I don't know. I try to be more informed, I guess, than, I don't know what that word means, positive, but someone who's just always seems cheery, and that's the best word, cheery. I don't even like to say happy, just cheery, and like, it's like, do you not like experience? I don't know. Like, I'm glad for the dark stuff I experience because it informs my viewpoint, my view of the world, and to me, it just kind of makes things. It works parts of me like muscles in me to sort of, manage, just myself, my everyday routine, and it makes me work to get out of my own way, to get out of my own, to get out of my own problems, or get my problems out of my own way. But the problems are the way. That's the thing. Is like, part of getting up early every day, it's like, I do it because rather than just let the day happen to me, like, oh, I wake up and I'm in the day, and I'd be so miserable if I did that. And I was miserable for a long time. And it's always there. That's the thing. It's just, I know how to manage it. Like I said, I'm grateful for it because obviously it's driving me to get up early and work. I don't just get up early and work a lot just to do it. It's because if I get up early, it's like rather than the day just happening to me, like think about the way that sentence is phrased, like I'm a victim of the day. It means I'm getting the day out of the way. So it's not just happening to me. So I'm like doing stuff to get it out of the way. And I'm managing it. And it's not that it can't overwhelm me. It sometimes does. Sometimes it does really badly. But it's just better. And I don't know how to put it, but like, I couldn't be someone who's just like, I don't get it. Some people, like, they can wake up when they want. They can do what they can watch TV and movies a lot. And don't get me wrong, I love movies and TV too. It's just I haven't seen much of it in the last few years. But I would mostly watch TCM when I had TV on. Uh, I would be absolutely miserable doing that. Not because I think there's anything inherently wrong with it. It's just that's how I am. That's how I'm wired. Like I have so much of this negativity in me. Like I have to do a lot to get it out of the way. I cannot just simply enjoy stuff. Like there has to be this pressure struggle somehow with it. And that's like why I like the stories I like, and it informs the stories I want to tell. So it's been a lot, and it's still a lot. Every day it feels like, oh man, like how many more things I never thought I would experience. But that's the thing, I'm grateful for these problems. So it's not like it's all good, like, oh, that's all I am is grateful. It's not like it's all bad or I'm just miserable and hating myself. But I'm grateful because it's like I never even thought I'd live to see any of this stuff. Don't ask me why. I don't know. I just thought, my life didn't matter, nothing mattered, and that's still again always a struggle. But like, just not nothing mattered. Who cares? Nothing's gonna happen to me. I'm not gonna have a future. That's the thing. I never thought I'd have a future, even as I wanted to be a filmmaker, and to be here, like this is the future I never thought I'd have. And it doesn't mean it's something I have now. It's just something I do. So just gonna try and keep working at it, and the screenwriting is just exciting and overwhelming. But I'm like, good. That's the other thing. When I got so miserable and so worked up about it the other day, I'm like, well, I'm miserable about it, but this is what I wanted, isn't it? I wanted it to be difficult because I wanted to have to push through it. Because if it's difficult, that means to do it well is really hard, but to do it well means you're exceptional. And so that's what I want to do. And being homeless helped allow that. And yeah, I had some really lonely, dark times homeless, but I had them. That's no different from when I was housed before being homeless. And like I said, I'm great. I'm glad for them. Doesn't mean I'm 100% like it's all good. But I wouldn't want it to be all good. I wouldn't want it. I don't know what that means. To me, that would mean I'm dissociating with my disorder. And that itself is an extremely unpleasant thing. And I almost don't relate to people who, whether they are or not, they give off that appearance. They're like always just super cheerful and stuff. And doesn't even mean like I have any problem with them. It's just like I'm like, I just don't get it. I don't know. Like I don't get being like that. But that's just how I am. It sounds like a bleak statement, but I also believe things are kind of bleak. It just you do but I don't like to leave it at that. I believe doing stuff to get that bleakness out of the way, but it's still always there. That's the thing. It's never dropping off the planet. It's just you get it out of the way, and you got to keep doing it, but it's always right there, like off to the side, and it's creeping back. Like a spring is pushing it back, and you got to keep pushing pressure on it. But anyway, so I'm trying to collect my thoughts about what it's like to be homeless, but it just it's made it possible for me to do a lot more and to function a lot better, because I was having a hard time functioning for, let's face it, my last 20 years. And it always can be a challenge, but I just know how to. I still hit really low lows occasionally, not nearly as often, but Like, I'm aware of it and I know how to climb back out of it. Whereas before, it was just like the worst thing. I would just be stuck in it for days, weeks, and not know how to get out of it. And just, cursing everything. And doesn't mean everything was all like that, but, you know, I think back to being a bouncer for 5 years, and in some ways, like, what a hole that was in my life. Like a giant hole where it's just empty. But it also wasn't, because it clearly, got me to where I am, and I actually wouldn't want to change it because I had some, like, good experiences that all will always stay with me. Um, and obviously, I wouldn't have become like as driven enough to go to LA as I did if I didn't do that for so long and work jobs where I was just hating myself, and I was hating myself at that job. Not the job itself was okay, but I was hating myself, thinking, I'm stuck here. I'm not really doing what I want, what I love, my dream. I'm having to choke off my dream at times, but it could never go away fully. It's just like I'm living this lie and trying to choke off my dream so it's not so painful, thinking I have this dream but I can't get it. And that's always a challenge, no matter what. Like, it's but it's way, like I'd say, like, it's now it's like a total role reversal where it's like 90% or 95% just the dream is right there and I'm going after it. And then, a little bit of like, oh, I don't want to tell people or whatever the case. But I don't even like saying that, because for the most part I do, and I can now, and it's so much better. It just have much, better view of it now, where it makes sense, much like healthier view of it, where it's just something you do. Like I said, that's why I don't necessarily talk about it, but I do talk about it. But it's more like I don't tell people I write necessarily. I just I can talk about the things that interest me and go to the shows I want. And um, anyways, it's all more complicated than that, but I talked about it already. So I am really tired. I was absolutely exhausted today, but I had so much energy I couldn't really be exhausted. So my body was exhausted. So anyways, that's what I think about being housed for 6 months after I was homeless for 2.5 years.